Good morning, everyone. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to Expert Talk organized by Department of English. We are honored to have with us Professor Dr. Ravindra Tasildar, Head Department of English in Sangamner College, who has graciously accepted
Respected Principal Ma'am and the guest of honor, Professor Dr. Ravindra Tasildar, uh, and my colleagues and research students. I welcome you all to this special occasion of a special lecture organized by the Department of English of Pemraj Sarda College. The basic idea behind this lecture is this, that we want to continue with the dialogue constructed around the basic topic or wider topic of research. Some 2 years back, we had organized a symposium which discussed the context of research. After that, last year, we had a talk series, informal talk series, which was titled as Tea Time Talks. And in that series, we used to have a few presentations around new books or articles. So in this way, we tried to continue the dialogue constructed around the wider topic of research. This year, we are honored by the presence of Professor Dr. Ravindra Tasildar, who heads the Department of English in Sangamner College. He has recently published a book titled as Doctoral Research in English Studies. This is published by Cambridge Scholars Publishing. And on this occasion, we requested him to give a talk titled as Is Research Only the Responsibility of the Researcher? This seems to be a thought-provoking title, and the research that went on in writing his book is based on the data that he collected from 7 universities in Maharashtra. So it has a wider context, and that's why I hope that today we will kind of open up a discussion around the other aspects of research through his lecture. So without wasting any more time, we are already late by a few minutes. I would like to welcome Dr. Ravindra Tasildar to the college, to the Department of English. I also welcome you all to this lecture. And let's now start with the main program. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I request Professor Dr. Satyajit Patil to introduce our guest.
Good morning, everyone present on this occasion as well as joining us online in our live telecast. I am honored to introduce you to the distinguished guest speaker for today's expert lecture, Dr. Ravindra Tasildar, who is Professor and Head Department of English and Coordinator of the Postgraduate Research Center of English at Sangamner Nagarpalika Arts, DJ Malpani Commerce and BN Sarda Science College, Sangamner. He also serves there in the capacity of Vice Principal. Dr. Tasildar did his MA from Shivaji University, Kolhapur, with specialization in ELT, English Language Teaching. He pursued his PhD under the guidance of Dr. Simon Barnabas, the then HOD of the Department of English of Ahmednagar College, Ahmednagar, wherein he critically evaluated the special status of special English papers offered at UG level in select universities in Maharashtra. Professor Tasildar has a vast teaching experience of almost 3 decades at UG and PG levels. He is a recognized research guide for PhD in English of Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Pune, and Research Advisory Committee member, Department of English, University of Mumbai. He is presently guiding 6 PhD students, while 2 of his students have already obtained the doctoral degree. Dr. Tasildar's remarkable research output has found its way in the form of 4 minor research projects as well as 4 books, including Doctoral Research in English Studies in India, his latest one. Besides, he has to his credit 4 chapters in edited books, one in Springer, 46 research articles in reputed journals, one of them is Scopus indexed and 2 are included in Web of Science. 13 articles in conference proceedings, 3 book reviews and 1 e-content that he developed for College Jalgaon, Mahavir Mahavidyalaya Kolhapur, Sandeep University Nashik and New Arts, Commerce and Science College, Ahilyanagar. Apart from this formal introduction, I know him as a very good human being, a devoted teacher, an extensive reader and a very cooperative colleague. Sir, we are so happy to have you with us today. May I now request our principal, Professor Dr. Maheshwari Gavit ma'am, to felicitate Dr. Tasildar. Over to you, sir.
आणि या 2025-26 या शैक्षणिक वर्षातील इंग्रजी विभागाचा हा पहिलाच कार्यक्रम. खरं तर संशोधनाशी संबंधित विषय हे नेहमीच आमच्या मराठी, इंग्रजी, राज्यशास्त्र आणि वाणिज्य शाखा या विषयामध्ये नेहमीच होत असतात. आणि म्हणून ज्यांनी महाराष्ट्रातील 7 विद्यापीठांचा आणि त्या विद्यापीठांमध्ये जे संशोधन झालेलं आहे त्या संशोधनाचा संपूर्ण अभ्यास करून जे एक महत्त्वाचं पुस्तक काढलेलं आहे की जे आपल्या सुद्धा डॉक्टर तहसीलदार सर या ठिकाणी आवर्जून उपस्थित आहेत. इंग्रजी विभाग प्रमुख डॉक्टर माधुरी दीक्षित, इंग्रजी विभागातील प्राध्यापक आमचे समोर उपस्थित आहेत, ज्या IQAC कोऑर्डिनेटर आहेत डॉक्टर स्वाती रोकडे, डॉक्टर सत्यजित पाटील, डॉक्टर सायकर सर आवर्जून उपस्थित आहेत, गायकवाड सर इथे आवर्जून उपस्थित आहेत. आमचे प्राध्यापक आणि सगळे संशोधक विद्यार्थी, खरं तर या कार्यक्रमात आपल्या सगळ्यांचं मी मनपूर्वक स्वागत करते. आपल्या महाविद्यालयात 2 संशोधन केंद्र आहेत, मराठी आणि राज्यशास्त्र. मराठी संशोधन केंद्राचं काम मी स्वतः बघत आहे, मी स्वतः मार्गदर्शक आहे आणि लोकसाहित्याची अभ्यासक म्हणून सुद्धा सरांचा खरं तर आजचा जो विषय आहे तर त्याच्या बाबतीत सर आपल्याला मार्गदर्शन करणारच आहेत. पण 21व्या शतकामध्ये मानवी जीवनाचा चेहरा हाच खरं तर संशोधन असं म्हणावं लागेल. कारण सगळ्या क्षेत्रामध्ये संशोधनाशिवाय पर्याय नाही आहे. आधुनिक जीवनाचा कणा हाच संशोधन राहिलेला आहे. भलेही तुम्ही वैज्ञानिक संशोधन जर करत असाल, त्याचा जो विषय असतो तो वस्तू असेल, सामाजिक संशोधनाचा विषय माणूस असतो आणि जेव्हा साहित्याचं संशोधन आपण करतो तेव्हा त्याचा विषय हा साहित्य जरी असला तरी सुद्धा कलाकृती ही माणसानंच निर्माण केलेली असते आणि म्हणून जेव्हा साहित्याचा अभ्यास आपण करतो तेव्हा त्याची प्रयोजनं, ध्येय आणि उद्दिष्ट ही वेगवेगळी असलेली दिसतात. खरं तर संशोधन हे सर्जन असतं असं मी म्हणेन. ते भलेही आपण खूप क्लिष्ट आणि शास्त्रीय परिभाषेत जरी मांडत असलो तरी ते एक सर्जन असतं आणि त्याच्यासाठी उत्तम समीक्षकाची भूमिका सुद्धा तितकीच महत्त्वाची असते. कारण आपल्या विषयाशी एकरूप व्हावं लागतं संशोधकाला आणि एकरूप झाल्याशिवाय हे संशोधन शक्य नसतं आणि म्हणून तिथे वस्तुनिष्ठपणा पण आवश्यक आहे. तुमची कल्पनाशक्ती ही सुद्धा तिथे महत्त्वाची ठरते. सर्जनशीलता तर महत्त्वाची आहेच, पण त्याचबरोबर एक प्रकारचा तटस्थपणा, निपक्षपातीपणा आणि पूर्वग्रह दूषित मानसिकता हा भाग सुद्धा तितकाच महत्त्वाचा असतो. कारण अशा सगळ्या कृतीतून झालेलं जे संशोधन असतं ते खूप महत्त्वाचं असतं असं मला वाटतं. अ ग्रेट रिसर्च इज ऑलवेज अ न्यू रिसर्च असं म्हटलं जातं. ते या सगळ्या प्रक्रियेशी संबंधित आहे असं मला वाटतं. कारण माणूस जो असतो त्याला सातत्यानं शोध घ्यावासा वाटत असतो. कारण माणसाजवळ बुद्धी, कल्पना, भावना, मन या सगळ्या गोष्टी असतात आणि माणसाचं अंतर्विश्व, माणसाचं बाह्य विश्व यांचा संबंध हा सातत्यानं येत असतो आणि याच्यातून मग माणसाला आपल्या मानवी जीवनाच्या रहस्याविषयी, विश्वाच्या रहस्याविषयी अनेक प्रश्न पडत असतात आणि त्यातूनच खरं तर हे संशोधन सुरू होत असतं. भलेही संशोधन कोणत्याही विषयाचं असू द्या, पण त्याचा परिणाम जो असतो, कारण त्याचा जो शेवट असतो तो म्हणजे मानवी जीवन शुद्ध करणं, मानवी जीवन आनंदी करणं, मानवी जीवन संपन्न करणं हाच कोणत्याही संशोधनाचा जो परिणाम असतो किंवा शेवट असतो तो असलेला दिसतो. आणि म्हणूनच संशोधन याच्यामध्ये सन अधिक शोधन म्हणजे शोध घेणं असा त्याचा अर्थ आहे. आणि याच्यामध्ये निर्णय प्रक्रिया महत्त्वाची असते, निष्कर्षाची प्रक्रिया महत्त्वाची असते. हे सगळ्या बाबी, हे सगळे टप्पे याच्यामध्ये आपोआप येतात. आता मी जेव्हा लोकसाहित्याचं संशोधन करते, सरांचा जो मुख्य विषय आहे की संशोधन हे फक्त संशोधकाचं असतं का, असा त्यांचा प्रश्न आहे आणि तो प्रश्न किंवा त्यांचा जो विषय आहे हा खूप महत्त्वाचा वाटतो मला. कारण इतिहासाचार्य वि. राजवाडेंचं जरी आपण उदाहरण घेतलं तरी राजवाडेंनी मराठ्यांच्या इतिहासाची साधनं या विषयावर जवळजवळ 22 खंड राजवाडेंनी, अनुभव संप्रांनी मला एका खोलीमध्ये कोंडून घेतलेलं होतं. हे त्यांच्या संशोधकाचं हे काम किंवा त्यांचं उत्तम उदाहरण म्हणून मला राजवाडे
UG and PG students and support staff. Next. Here, I would also acknowledge here contribution of Professor Dr. N.S. Gundur, who made available the platform for my pilot study on this area. In 2013, one international conference was organized at Tumkur University, and here I sent the paper, it was accepted, and my journey on this path started. When the paper was published, I sent its scanned copy to my guide, Dr. Simon Barnabas sir, and it was after my PhD viva, and that's why in the mail there is mention of Dr. Fernandez, that is Mabel madam, that is the mention. Here he asked me to visit universities in Maharashtra and see what are the trends. Fortunately, I got an opportunity to study the topic with the grant provided by BCUD and later on IQAC, Savitribai Phule Pune University. And I started my research in this area. In this regard, as I was already introduced, that I have guided only 2 students and 6 are working under my supervision. In that sense, I am not an experienced person. And whatever I am going to discuss here, it is purely informative. Don't consider it as analytical or critical, because everything is easily available. The way in which I am going to support my arguments, the way is different, and that's why for here there are no separate stories or shero shairi. The topic is different, and that's why that's seriousness you have to take into account. Next slide, please. Okay. I will go back to my days. Now everything is available on YouTube. Those interested in research may compare the past and the present. Easily available on YouTube. Whatever was the status of research scholar, and is there any change now post corona? Because this is old one, episode number 5. Anyone can watch. I may not waste your time now by going to this video, but this is introduction to research scholar. Though the example is of science, it is applicable, equally applicable to commerce and humanities. Now, here I would like to begin with the seriousness here. Means the article is PhD manje काय रे भाऊ? Because without knowing what is doctoral research, I registered. That is not the case. Just like someone has asked me to take this major subject, that's why I chose that subject. This is not the issue here. Here, willingness and number of other things are necessary. Now, what is required? One of the important things is time management, then documentation, and temperament to work in a group. There are some expectations of research scholars from their research supervisors. Especially, they want to tell Now, whatever is the current research culture, I would like to take you to the sensitivity of that research culture. I had listened to a radio play, the date is there, September 21, 2022. It was based on Asha Baghe's short story, and the radio play was titled Samudra. It is everything about research guide, research scholar, and the relationship between them. What happens? This story has been skillfully handled, and as a research scholar, one should read it. The availability may depends with different anthologies, and one should think of that. Now, coming to my point, when we think of knowledge, we think of subject knowledge and we try to gather information about that. Where could we get information related to our topic of research? आपल्याला एखादा विषय अभ्यासायचा असेल तर आपल्याला त्या संदर्भात माहिती कुठे मिळते, कुठे मिळू शकेल? Okay, loudly. Okay, where are these books available? One is National Library. Some of you may know where is it located, and another is National Digital Library. First is at Kolkata, and second was developed by IIT Kharagpur. Now, everything is at your fingertips. There is no need to visit Kolkata or other places. We think so. Here I would like to give you one example. I have come across one history researcher in the subject of history. At the age of 57 or 58, he was studying a taluka place in Maharashtra. That is, his subject was simple thing is whatever are not given to the readers to be taken home, such books are reference books. It is so simple because we can't carry those books. Now this is long list, and here alphabetically I have arranged in that. Now we can also consider artificial intelligence as one of the reference sources. I will come to that later on, but these are some of the things which we may refer to. Our There are references by librarians, scholars in Marathi and other languages as well on this. There are number of reference books, and here we don't reach to these sources of reference. Even in our libraries, these are good old volumes are there, but we don't consider them. These are important for each and every researcher, whatever may be his or her subject or whatever may be his or her topic. Now, why we need to visit library, why we need to go to reference books? First, we have to decide on the topic of our research. It may be UG project, it may be PG project. Now, research projects are there for post-graduation, and it may be a new topic for our doctoral research. Then those who have already registered, they think of reviewing the literature, whatever are the previous studies in that area. And nowadays, everyone thinks that there is Shodh Ganga, no need to worry. Now, here when we think of literature review, what is the purpose? Whatever research has been carried out earlier, that is whatever our previous studies on that area, we need to think. बराच वेळेला आपला असं समज होतो की या विषयावर मीच पहिला संशोधक आहे. तसं नसतं. बऱ्याच लोकांनी आधी संशोधन केलेलं असतं, फक्त आपल्याला माहीत नसतं. आणि आत्ताची स्थिती अशी आहे, माहीत करून घेण्याची इच्छा सुद्धा नसते. आय वुड लाईक टू मेन्शन वन एक्झाम्पल हिअर. जेव्हा आपण एखाद्या विद्यार्थ्याला प्रोग्रेस विचारतो, काय झालाय, कितपर्यंत आलाय, 5वा चॅप्टर झालाय, फक्त लिटरेचर रिव्ह्यू राहिलंय, दॅट इज द आन्सर. बिकॉज दे आर नॉट सिरियस about reviewing the literature and understanding the purpose. Especially we have to evaluate whatever are the available sources, previous studies, and then we have to think of what is the gap. And we have to work on that gap. We forget that. Even if the guides tell, scholars are in their own mood. That's why we need to think of that separately. Now, one example of this, I also came across previously studied material on my topic of research. Means I was studying doctoral research in the universities in Maharashtra. I came across one study by one librarian from Gujarat. Of research. I'm not asking you about your subject or topic. What do you think? You may give preference to any one or other skill, but for my purpose, I will take you to the skills. Okay. Now, just check your acquaintance with your reference skills. Earlier, there was a separate unit in TYBA compulsory English. Now it is missing at that level. Just check. Form of KRC. तुमच्यापैकी कुणाला KRC या शॉर्ट फॉर्मचा फुल फॉर्म माहीत आहे का? आपली सुरुवात संशोधनाची इथूनच होते. आहे का कुणाला माहीत? ओके. आधी ज्याला आपण लायब्ररी म्हणत होतो त्यालाच नॉलेज रिसर्च सेंटर. आता तिथं जर आपल्याला थेसिस पाहायचं असेल एखादा तर कुठे असतो तो? आपण ज्या काही लायब्ररीत गेला असाल आणि पाहिला असाल PhDचा थेसिस कुठे उपलब्ध असतो लायब्ररीत? We have to begin with this. Then see, to know the meaning of word style in Marathi. मी इथं इंग्लिश म्हणत नाही आहे. स्टाईल या शब्दाचा मराठीत अर्थ माहीत करून घ्यायचा असेल तर कोणतं संदर्भ पुस्तक संदर्भ साधनाचा वापर आपल्याला करावा लागतो. That we have to verify. Then to know the edition, whether it is first edition, second edition, fifth edition, 11th edition, where could we find that information? We need to know. आणि जे PhD गाईड झाल्यानंतरही आपल्या लक्षात येत नाही ते म्हणजे thesis and dissertation. Why are these two terms? Or where is contents in a reference book? Where is index in a reference book? Or even when we write thesis, should we go for bibliography or references? These are the basic things we require. Then how many of you use OPEC? If you have visited your college library or other libraries, how many of you have the experience of using OPEC? This is example of University of Mumbai. लायब्ररीत एखादं संदर्भ पुस्तक उपलब्ध आहे की नाही, संदर्भ ग्रंथ उपलब्ध आहे की नाही हे आपल्याला ऑनलाईन सर्च करता येतं. आपल्या लायब्ररीत तसंच देशातल्या किंवा इतर देशातल्या सुद्धा कोणत्याही लायब्ररीचं ते करता येतं. काही मर्यादा असतात, काही ठिकाणी त्याचा ॲक्सेस कॅम्पस पुरताच असतो. अँड दॅट्स वाय वी नीड टू नो हाऊ टू सर्च. मीन्स if we give here Boolean search properly, those prompts, then we are able to get. Otherwise, we may not. Okay. Now, when it comes to doctoral research, we need to know where is the mention of year of submission on the thesis, or what is the word for a list of books referred to for that thesis. Where could we find page number of a chapter? Can anyone tell me here? एखाद्या चॅप्टरचं पृष्ठ क्रमांक आपल्याला माहीत करून घ्यायचं असेल तर ते कुठं मिळतं थेसिसमध्ये? So just check, because if we know parts of a thesis or parts of a reference book, we can come across. Then secondary sources used in a thesis. Now my today's presentation will focus on secondary sources. Then additional data used in the thesis, or even a list of abbreviations used in the thesis. Where are these places? These are fixed places, and that's why we need to know this. Now we'll begin with this question. Here is one topic, that too in Marathi. देहू आळंदी ते पंढरपूर आषाढी दिंडी सोहळा एक अभ्यास. Whatever subjects you know, try to guess in which subject this topic comes. कुठल्या विषयातील हा प्रबंध असेल? This is title of a doctoral thesis, and that too submitted to सावित्रीबाई फुले पुणे युनिव्हर्सिटी. विषय सांगू शकाल? टायटल आहे थिसिसचं. व्हेरी इझी. टायटल तरी देवनागरी स्क्रिप्टमध्येच आहे. ओके. त्यामुळे गेसवर्क आपला मराठीतनं सुरू होतो. ओके. नाउ द थिंग्स are changing so fast. This is old one, but these are changing so fast Here we can't predict. This is thesis of history. तिथं कुठं याचा इतिहास वगैरे असं काहीच म्हटलेलं नाही. But it is the title of a thesis, history. Here it is not clear. I would like to tell this is news of from Times of India, March 30, 2008. Great research bull. What is mentioned, I will tell you. A person was willing to work in the area of sericulture. That is what in the box it is written. Sericulture. And he was unable to find the guide. सेरिकल्चर या विषयात PhD करायची होती, गाईडची उपलब्धता नव्हती. मग वेगवेगळ्या डिपार्टमेंटना भेटी दिल्या आणि इंग्लिश डिपार्टमेंटला भेट झाल्यानंतर काही गोष्टी माहीत झाल्या आणि शेवटी PhDचा टॉपिक काय आहे त्यात लिहिलेलं आहे. तर टॉपिक असा आहे की सिल्क कपडे परिधान करणाऱ्या साहित्यिकांचा अभ्यास. दोज हू वर झब्बाज पायजमाज, सिल्क झब्बाज अँड पायजमाज, सच पोएट्स. And that's why what could be the topic of research we can't imagine now, because there are number of constraints. Next. Now this is a different. आता आपण मातृभाषेचा अभिमान आपल्याला असतोच, तर त्या शब्दाचा अर्थ तरी गुगल करावा लागू नये अशी स्थिती कधीतरी येईल. इफ नॉट टुडे. अक्षिप्त मराठी साहित्य. See what is the hard work in research, you can understand. 210 पुस्तकांचा शोध घेतल्यावर 122 पुस्तकं हाती लागलेत आणि मग त्याच्यावर अभ्यास केलेला आहे. These are from pre-independence period. All the books were published in pre-independence and these were banned books. ज्या पुस्तकांवर ब्रिटिश शासनाने बंदी घातलेली होती अशा मराठी पुस्तकांचा अभ्यास आहे. मीन्स संशोधन करायचं असेल तर असे वेगळे टॉपिक मिळू शकतात, फक्त आपली इच्छा पाहिजे. हार्डवर्क काय आहे हे फक्त जॅकेट वाचल्यावरच कळतं. मीन्स यू हॅव टू सर्च फॉर अ गुड टॉपिक. इट शुड हेल्प यू इन फ्युचर ॲज वेल. नाउ लेट्स कम टू द पॉइंट. व्हॉट आर द कन्स्ट्रेंट्स हिअर. जेव्हा एखाद्या विषयावर एखादी व्यक्ती रिसर्च करत असते तेव्हा आता एक कल्चर झालेलं आहे, त्या संशोधकाला किंवा त्याच्या मार्गदर्शकालाच दोषी धरायचं. दॅट इज ऑल द टाइम व्हॉट एव्हर मे बी टॉपिक हिअर, दॅट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द टायटल गोज टू आयदर द गाईड or the scholars. But why such a topic was chosen? What are the constraints? No one goes into that area. Think of whether there are reference sources available, whether reference skills of those newly admitted students are developed, that we need to consider. And when one is not aware of either reference sources or reference skills or whatever are the sources, if these are not available in the libraries, then where to go? Those constraints we need to consider. Now just is one thing. आता ह्याला नावामुळे ॲलिट्रेशनमुळे निवडले का आणखी काय हे पाहता येईल. अरुण अनिता असे नावं आली म्हणून घेतले का हेही सांगता येत नाही. जस्ट चेक एव्हरीवन. एव्हरी टाइम अनिता देसाई आणि अरुण जोशी. Things are different and it happens in every university in India. What is the common logic here? These are titles where everywhere a comparative study is mentioned. It doesn't come under comparative literature, but Indian English literature. But see what is common here? Theme of alienation. हे का होतं? आधी याच्यावर अभ्यास झालाय की नाही हे माहीत नसतं आणि आपली इच्छाही नसते. मी जो टॉपिक डोक्यात घेऊन आलेलो आहे तो अंतिम सत्य आहे असं प्रत्येकाला वाटतं. अँड दॅट्स वाय सच थिंग्स हॅपन. ओके. अँड वी आर इन 2025. दिस इज द ओपिनियन published in a book published in 1964. Just check. Deliberately I will read this. Our research degrees in English language and literature need some consideration. English literature has been an intercontinental subject of study and an overtapped area for research. ओव्हरटॅप्ड एरिया 64 साली. With the result that research students in our universities frequently spend their years in preparing theses which are hardly anything than a collection of available critical dicta, general principles, general information, and a contribution not to knowledge but to a whole hill of typescripts piled up in a university library. आता हेच शोधगंगावर आहे, डिजिटलमध्ये आहे. आधी हे लायब्ररीत होते, आता डिजिटल स्वरूपात. हीच स्थिती आहे, फार काही वेगळी नाही आहे. देन हू शुड टेक द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ दिस? नाउ वॉट एवर द वे इन विच आय एम गोइंग थ्रू, वॉट एवर आर जनरल स्टेप्स, इंट्रोडक्शन, then literature review, data collection, data analysis, and conclusion. Whatever are these steps, I am going through these steps. When you think of research, see how the material is available. See, this is here Directory of Doctoral Dissertations of Sanskrit of Indian Universities. यात तुम्हाला गाईडचं नाव आणि रिसर्चरचं नावची गरज नाही आहे. तुम्हाला कोणत्या एरियातला रिसर्च माहीत पाहिजे ते टाकायचं. आता इथं स्टडी ऑफ रामायणा, वाल्मिकी रामायणा वगैरे असे टाकले तर त्याच्यावरचे रिसर्च येतात. इट नॉट इझी टू सर्च हिअर. दिस इज नॉट युजर फ्रेंडली. कीप इन माइंड, भारतातले सगळे थिसिस असेच आहेत. हाऊ टू कन्सिडर? देन सी हिअर देर आर 2 फॉर्मॅट्स फ्रॉम universities in Gujarat. Title, then researcher, year of award, faculty, subject, and here subject, faculty, year of notification. There is no year of registration. Things are different. Now, with the help of these, can we guess the gender of the researcher if we need to use pronoun he or she in while reviewing our literature? ती जी काही व्यक्ती आहे ती ही का शी आहे हे लिहिताना प्रोनाउन वापरताना गरज भासते ना, ते कसं कळणार आहे? नाउ हिअर सोलापूर युनिव्हर्सिटी, बिफोर इट वॉज नेम्ड, हिअर इट इज मेन्शन, जेंडर इज मेन्शन, बट अगेन द वर्ड यूज्ड इज सेक्स, यम इन सच अ वे. इंग्रजीवाल्यांची गरज सगळीकडे भासते. Just one can understand here. Now, name of guide, here date of registration is there and award of PhD. These things have been mentioned. Okay. Now, here is the list of thesis from Kaktiya University, Warangal. Now, see, name of the researcher, title, area, whether it is in British literature or American literature, such classification is given. This is not available everywhere. And then year and name of the supervisor. Next. Now, same university, when the same content from book came to the website, there is award name, supervisor name, date of award. Whether researcher needs this or researcher needs the topics of research, just think. रिसर्चरला काय हवं आहे? गाईड कोण आणि विद्यार्थी कोण हे नको आहे. त्यांनी कोणत्या टॉपिकवर रिसर्च केला हे महत्वाचं आहे. बट सी द थिंग, द सेम इज कंटिन्यूड. अँड देन दिस वॉज इन 2020. नाउ द चेंज, ओनली 3 नेम्स आर देअर. आत्ताही तुम्ही व्हिजिट केला तर पुढचे कुठंच पहिले 3 नावं सोडली तर कुठंच टायटल दिलेलं नाही आहे. देन व्हॉट इज द यूज ऑफ सच लिस्ट, PhD लिस्ट to a research scholar? Now, this is of Institute of Advanced Studies in English. Here, photograph of researcher is given so that we can at least know the gender. That is the difference. Here, date of declaration is there, but date of award is not given. And one can understand what is there and what not. Now, this has also been updated. Photographs have been removed. And now, nationality is given. Now, here also, while citing, what should be the first name, what should be the last name, those things matter. जर तुम्ही एखाद्या आधीच्या अभ्यासाचा संदर्भ देत असाल तर नावानंतर इयर ऑफ पब्लिकेशन लिहायचं. ते पहिलं नाव आहे का आडनाव आहे हे माहीत पाहिजे. किमान इथं नॅशनॅलिटीमुळे ते कळेल तरी की प्रत्येक ठिकाणी पद्धती वेगळ्या आहेत, think of North India, South India, Maharashtra, things differ. And how to cite these things we can come across here. Still here, gender is not mentioned. Okay, now whatever was my study, it was based on the titles, but it was not limited to the titles. Just see the lengthy title. First is title of in comparative literature, Untouchable Kuli, Vibhavari Shirurkar Bali, S.M. Mate's Upekshitanche Antarang. This is comparative study. किती मोठे टायटल आहे म्हणजे सॉरी टू यूज इनफॉर्मल एग्जाम्पल बट आई विल यूज इट इज जस्ट लाइक दिल एंड हम आपके दिल में रहते हैं दैट टाइप ऑफ थिंग इज हियर दैट इज शॉर्ट टाइटल एंड लेंदी टाइटल सी हियर इवन वन इज रिलेटेड टू सोशियोलिंग्विस्टिक स्टडी नेक्स्ट नाउ सी द शॉर्ट ड्राइडन्स ट्रेजिक कॉमेडीज और जेन ऑस्टेन्स आर्टिस्टिक विजन novels on Indian partition, Lawrence Durrell, A Study, Pun and Shakespeare. See, these are the short titles. Now, subjectivity is there. Who decides 5 great Indian novels in English? How to decide 5 great and 3 great are here? Untouchable, Train to Pakistan and Inside the Haveli. One research was in 1997 and another was submitted in 2017. 20 वर्षानंतर ग्रेट नॉवेल्स तेच राहिले पण कुणाच्या दृष्टिकोनातून ते ग्रेट इंडियन that we need to consider. Now here think of I am not good at grammar but we need to think there is full stop after the title of the thesis. There is full stop even in other place. September 2004 full stop. पंक्च्युएशन मार्क कधी वापरायचं हे सबमिशन पर्यंत कळत नसेल तर नंतर काय आहे आय एम नॉट हिअर टेकिंग अ क्रिटिकल लुक ॲट दॅट बट व्हाय टू कन्सिडर दिस 1996 and 2004 same are the things here title is kept in single inverted means should after title of a thesis on the cover page of the thesis. We need to think of this seriously. Now, back. Here, the said research supervisor completed his doctoral research from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University. I will ask you to check the name given. Here, what is the correct spelling of the research supervisor? First is one where TESWA in such a way and end is one. Which is the correct spelling of the person? And when you think of the thesis, the sign of the same person is there, whatever may be the spelling of his name. Because on the certificate, the guide has to sign. In the certificate, spellings are different. When a research scholar becomes a research supervisor, whether there is change in name, if it is gazetted, we may follow. Now here, this is from Savitribai Phule Pune University. There are 2 titles. On the cover page, there is one title, and on the certificate, there is another title. Now the question is, what may be the registered title with the university? One need to think what could be the registered title. There are changes in the world order and that's why we that mention. Even Naneshwari and Savitri, a comparative study, it was by Deshpande PS. But when we refer to the book, that the doctoral research by Veer 2010, there is no mention of this. There is list of PhD thesis on the university website. There is also not mentioned. And surprisingly, all these, that is these two, are made available on शोधगंगा. विद्यापीठाच्या लायब्ररीच्या लिस्टमध्ये नाही, त्यांनी प्रकाशित केलेल्या पुस्तकात त्याचा उल्लेख नाही, पण तो शोधगंगावर आहे. हाऊ टू सर्च, हा अभ्यास झालाय की नाही तुम्हाला कसा माहित होणार आहे? सिमिलर इज द थिंग हियर. दिस इज द लिस्ट बाय संत गाडगे बाबा, अमरावती युनिव्हर्सिटी. I search for a name that is not visible here, Gaude. Varsha Gaude is the name. When I searched, it was not available with their list, which is available on website. Now, see these differences again. I personally visited the libraries, and here is one example. These are the 3 researchers whose names and theses are available in the library. Names are there on the card catalog, but whatever are the 3 volumes of research compendiums published by Shivaji University, these 3 are not mentioned. पुस्तक आपण अंतिम सत्य धरलं तर ह्यांचा उल्लेख कधी आपल्याला मिळणारच नाही, आणि लायब्ररीत कार्ड कॅटलॉग वरून कळतं असे थिसिस आत आहेत. तुम्ही जाल तेव्हा तिथं बाइंडिंगला गेलेले असतात किंवा स्कॅनिंगला गेलेले असतात. That is one more thing. Okay. Now, whatever were the researchers, a researcher has to understand that there are challenges in data collection, whether it is research related to language or literature. It can be folk literature, it can be literature in electronic form or print form, whatever it may be. Here, when you think of university news, in every issue, it is a weekly, in every issue, there is list of theses submitted by Indian universities to the university news. It is subject wise. The weeks are also fixed, that is first week, second week, third week, in such a way. If you think of humanities, it is third week of every month you will get the list. Earlier there used to be list of theses submitted to university news, and that list was published in the last week of December. But now they have stopped and they have started here bibliography of doctoral dissertations, such books. And in these books they bring out the things. Now just take, should we rely on this data to know? हे वाचून आपण आपला विषय ठरवायचा का, की हे वाचून आपला लिटरेचर रिव्ह्यू करायचं का, हे ठरवा. Just check 2010 to 2015, whatever were the PhD, that is doctoral thesis submitted all over India, in all the universities in India. Data was sent to university news. In Maharashtra, in these 3 universities, only 2 universities have not sent the data. That is, you will not come across this data in the university news and their here bibliographies, because the universities don't send. Here you can understand this. Now, when you think of classification, see the classification. Title is English and it is गीतांजलि श्री के कथा साहित्य का आलोचनात्मक अध्ययन. आपण काय करतो, सब्जेक्ट वाईज वाचत जातो. सब्जेक्ट काय आहे, इंग्लिश आहे आणि थिसिस हिंदीच आहे. सिमिलरली थिंक ऑफ लिंग्विस्टिक्स. हियर पुजारी श्रीशैल बसाप्पा, critical study of novels of Bijapur district. How could this be a topic under linguistics? You can understand it. Means there is some gap in the classification. Now this is good example of here cross verification. You all know Meenakshi Mukherjee for her book on novels, and here when you think of her thesis, see, first book was published in 1972 by Inter-University Board of India and Ceylon. Now it is Association of Indian Universities. And see the title, Indo-Anglian Novel 1930 to 1960. This is the title. University of Pune, and the period of her doctoral study is 1964 to 1967. Then when the book was published, in 1975, it is Indo-Anglian fiction, and it is 1966 to 1969. Next. Now, see, in Kushwaha and Nasim, it is 1969, it is 1930 to 1964. But see the 2 books, 2 bibliographies published by Savitribai Phule Pune University. The compiler, first book, 1971 says PhD was in 1968. And the second compiler here, Londe, in 2016 says it is 1969. How could you search in the library or on Shodhaganga or elsewhere? You may decide whether to rely on these things or not. Now, earlier generation research scholars used to rely heavily on university news. Everything is not there. With one example I have shown you. Now just see whether Shodhaganga is researcher friendly, because we heavily rely, when you ask any research scholar what you refer to for your research proposal, only word is used, Shodhaganga. And now see here, this is Savitribai Phule University, that book, where the name is given Mandarkar Jogeshwar Nilkant, and the actual name is Jogeshwar Nilkant Nandurkar. Means, how can you search, whether in library or elsewhere, how can you search? Totally name is changed, alphabetically you can get. Go to next. Now, when you go to here, Shodh Ganga for verification, you can understand. Even name of the research guide you can get here. Means Shodh Ganga helps. I don't say that it doesn't help. It helps. But what are the lacunae? See this search. You use search on Shodh Ganga. For example, see Khan Hamid. See the spelling. MID or MEED, and same person, there are names how many times, just check. Even same is Koekar TN and TN Koekar. There is no uniformity in the data presented, and that's why in a single search, whatever you can get, you may consider it as final. That is not so. Now, again, just check. Bhalchandra Nemade, most of you may know. This is what we may get from his Shodh Ganga entry. What is there? Influence of English on 15th century Marathi prose style. 15व्या शतकातल्या मराठीवर इंग्रजीचा प्रभाव. इंग्रज भारतात कधी आले? Just check this. This is on Shodh Ganga. Then go to from where it came. Whatever is Veer Sir's book, Doctoral Research, there also same is the title. And when you refer to the thesis, it's 19th century Marathi prose style. 4 शतकांचा फरक आहे. Means, and see, Nemade sir was MA English as well as MA Linguistics in 1981. Now, this is one good example. The thesis has been uploaded by Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University. And that's why name of the university is Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University. Now see, declaration is 1963, 1983, university was established in 83. And the thesis says here, submitted to the Nagpur University. How is this? You search in one university and it is thesis of another university. Means here, how to rely on the available data. Now here see, whatever Gaude I told Varsha, that name is here of SGBAU, and just here check. Researcher and guide names are there. Actually, Nair is guide and Deshmukh is researcher. Here it is mentioned Nair is researcher and Deshmukh is guide. Means when you go to the thesis, you can understand. But why are such discrepancies? Now this is one more. It is of Savitribai Phule Pune University. Sudhakar Pandey was the head, and his thesis, name of guide is S.K. Verma. This is on Shodh Ganga. See, name of guide is S.K. Verma when you go for Shodh Ganga. And when you think of his thesis, even acknowledgement, he has worked independently without any guide. Even in the acknowledgement, nowhere it is mentioned that S.K. Verma was his guide. Because Verma was in IFLU and Sudhakar Pandey has completed PhD from University of Pune. Nowhere there is name of guide, but Shodh Ganga shows so. That is how to rely or not. Now, you can also get the importance of Shodh Ganga. Here, when it is not there on Shodh Ganga, what happens? Just one example. Here we have to find out who is the guide. This is subject-wise list of thesis uploaded by Kavitri Bhainabai Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University. See the last name, Srimati Rahagad, and guide is Dr. Kumari Mukta Mahajan. That is the name. It was declared here 2007. Next. Now here, name of guide is Jyoti Rane. Both have been published by the university. These are still available on the portals. Now here I referred to profile of Dr. Mahajan, and Dr. Rane was at Ahmednagar College, Pratap College Ahmednagar. That's why I couldn't get her CV. And here there is no mention of that student. And then I tried to think of Shodh Ganga. Go to next. Here it is mentioned whatever I shown in blue are available on Shodh Ganga. Means this thesis is not available on Shodh Ganga. When I visited the library, it was not available there. Means at the time I visited the library, only 21 theses were available, made available on Shodhaganga. Even on their sole software, that is web OPEC also, those things were not there. It is shown that this is not uploaded on Shodhaganga. Then I used their web OPEC and I got this. And I have to finalize this because hard copy was not available. Okay. Now let's come to after data collection, now data analysis. What are the challenges I have showed? I will hurriedly go through the remaining part. I have worked on BA Compulsory English, BA Special English, now it is a English major, and MA English. These are some of the articles. That is, what should be taught in compulsory English? Now there is depth of compulsory English. Then how are English special courses in universities in Maharashtra? Then whatever are MA English courses all over India, that was in Delhi University Journal. And here, whether our syllabi are in relation to net set, means whether students come here for MA English for net set, and what are the similarities and differences in our MA English syllabus and net set. And then I came to now PhD. This is why I am here, that doctoral research. Now, these are the chapters. Whatever I focused now was part of only chapter 2 and 3. And here, these are the 2 sections. Now, whatever is in second section, I will show. Here, classification is in 10 broad categories, and these are the 7 universities. There is one sample, that serial number, name of the researcher, year of submission or declaration, title of thesis, name of the supervisor, and name of the university. Except gender of the researcher, I have tried to cover all the main points. And this is single page, hardly one more page is there in literary criticism. Generally, we go for themes, we go for novels and their themes, and we avoid other areas. Hardly there are theses in under this title, literary criticism. One can understand that is why we go for doctoral research. Now, this is summary of all the things. I will take a few minutes here. I studied 860 titles, not titles, I went through the thesis as well of these universities, and these are the things. When you come across, most of the research is in Indian English literature, 288 theses out of 860. And then comes British literature and then American literature. But think of literary criticism. Only 8 theses are there in literary criticism. That is, should we go for overexplored area or unexplored area? It depends on the research scholar and also on the guide. What to tell and what not to tell. Then we say everything is available on Shodhaganga, and based on Shodhaganga we decide on the things. See what is the condition of Shodhaganga. Here 2013 246 theses, and now 225 there are only 219 theses of Savitribai Phule University, Department of English. I am talking of Department of English because other research centers, different theses are there. At that time, hardly there were research centers. Except IISc, there were hardly, Nagar College, IISc, there were only few research centers. And see the thing, now also here North Maharashtra University, only 47 theses. If you go to University of Mumbai, earlier there were no theses, now they have uploaded. Earlier there was not a single thesis in 2020. What is the difference? See, in 10 years, there is difference of, in terms of numbers, 169 theses are more on Shodhaganga. If you think of the current situation, 6th April 2025. And when you think of the bibliography given in the second part, it is of 1089 theses. In the bibliography, such entries have been given for aspirant researchers and registered research scholars for here literature review. Now question comes, whatever happens here with the titles to the research, whose responsibility is this? I am coming to the last part. This is common one, that when we think of general articles, there is the word used, bhrashtachar in every sense, and that's why when you think of plagiarism, in every sense, it is everywhere. And everyone is to be considered accountable. Kulguru, Pracharya, Pradhyapak, Shikshan Sanchalak, all the names are given here. Then next, here the same continues. Now, we were asked to refer to UGC care. Here in this article, there is a suggestion that it should not be there, UGC care, because there are some bogus journals. Means the suggestion was in 2018, now this year it was the, okay, go to next. Now this is common one. This is related to here research papers, but it is also applicable to doctoral research as well. Now comes whose responsibility is. This is a thesis in Marathi from Rashtrasant Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University. And fortunately, thesis is on Rashtrasant Tukadoji Maharaj. When the book was published, based on the thesis, a reader came across number of discrepancies related to name, place of birth, year of publication of Gram Gita and all the things. Means whatever are our errors, we may use Turnitin or Urkund or any software. Here we use filters and they pass on. But when the books are published, here we come across the things, that whatever are the errors in that thesis. And now the question comes, see, संशोधनात चुकीचे संदर्भ अभ्यासकांनी दिल्याचे निदर्शनास येत आहे, या दोष अभ्यासकाचा की मार्गदर्शकाचा हा प्रश्नच आहे. Who should be held accountable for this, whether the research scholar or the research guide? Because there are number of such things which are very common, which are known to all. Even that publication of book mentioned is 1956 and already it was 1955. First edition was published in 1955, Gram Gita. Now, the name of the university is related to this saint, Rashtrasant Tukadoji Maharaj, and in the same university, such is the thesis and the publication. Now, there is a long list. I have given you some representative names. Whom would you consider responsible for such things? Because aspirant researchers don't get good guidance. Even for literature review, there are no things available when you focus only on doctoral research thesis. And then who is responsible for this? What do you think? Whom should we consider responsible for this? Whether researcher, is it researcher's responsibility or someone else? Because everyone has a role to play here, from knowledge workers to the research scholar. Based on this presentation and your experience, you can think of. What do you think? Is there any straightforward answer? It is just like multiple choice. You have to think of only one which could be the correct answer. Means you are thinking of either the system or the process. But what happens next? We can see. After our doctoral degree is awarded, there are many well-wishers who come to our help. First is that we are displayed in such a way. That is the thing. There are flyers and flakes. Then see how is PhD written. How is it written? It is not new. That in the university documents also you will get PhD such written on the university documents. We call ourselves Oxford of the East. Even Allahabad University is also called as Oxford of the East. And that's why this is, even one who writes, I have completed PhD on the blackboard, writes in such a way, whatever may be his or her subject. Means for typographical errors, whom should we consider responsible? Whether the researcher or guide as proofreader or anyone else. Okay. Now, see the system here. Here, whatever is the answer, तो विषय सांगण्यालायक देखील नाही. That is the answer given by head of the department to a minister from central government. What is there? त्यानंतर मी PhDच्या विषयाला मान्यता देणाऱ्या आणि PhDत उत्तीर्ण करणाऱ्या विभाग प्रमुखाला याबाबत विचारले होते. तेव्हा ते म्हणाले माझ्या हातात काही नव्हते. वरिष्ठ पातळीवरून मान्यता द्यायला माझ्यावर दबाव होता. मला दम भरला आणि धमकी दिली की माझ्याकडे विषयाला मान्यता देण्याशिवाय आणि PhD मध्ये उत्तीर्ण करण्याशिवाय पर्याय नव्हता. And this happens not only in UP, in Maharashtra as well, because reference is to UP here. केवळ महाराष्ट्रात नाही तर उत्तर प्रदेशात I am reversing the thing. Okay. Now, if we ignore these things, our well-wishers come to us after 5, 10, 20, 25 years. See, after 9 years of declaration, degrees withhold. One of the reason is plagiarism. It is directly, indirectly related to our research work. That is literature review and other things. Guide has to go. We have to think of the job. We have to go. Principal debarred as PhD guide for 3 years. Even Vice Chancellor of Pondicherry University sacked after allegations of plagiarism. Now it doesn't stop here, it goes beyond. Education ministers, not only of Kerala, but of Germany, they had also to face the things. Then think of Prime Minister, Romanian Prime Minister, I think his doctoral degree was in physical education, and Hungarian President. Means if we don't take the present situation seriously, what may happen? This may happen. And the thing is here, who is responsible now? On whom is the action taken? Whether all that long list, you said the system or the process, here only research scholar gets into the soup. Means we can't say guide न सांगितलं होतं म्हणून मी केलं. Sometimes guide is debarred for 3 years. And one thing keep in mind, the name of the guide you can't erase from your doctoral thesis, even if you like or dislike him or her. It remains forever. See, it remains forever. Means you can't blame others. Researcher has to take his or her own responsibility because action is on him or her, not on others. Now, here is the recap. I consider these many points, but I focused on doctoral research. One of the reasons for that, though we are in the age of Shodhaganga, here, when you think of citation to doctoral thesis, in our PhD thesis, that percentage is very low. Is as low as 9 to 11%. We don't cite, we cite research papers available on different websites of predatory journals. And doctoral theses remain in the university libraries or college libraries or even in e-form, that is ETDs on Shodhaganga. And that's why such things happen, and that's why I took you through aspirant researchers to the responsibility, all these things. And here, we as a researcher need that comparative perspective, because if we don't cross-verify every detail, whether it is birth of any writer or 3 marriages of Milton, if we don't verify, then we will write, whatever we will write, it will be wrong. We may use filters, I may repeat, whether it is Turnitin or Urkund, we may use filters, and this can be skipped for time being till we get the declaration, but afterwards this continues. Thank you for your patience. Hope I have maintained the time limit. Questions are welcome in English, Marathi. I don't understand other many languages, but here it is there. I once again thank Professor Dr. Madhuri Dixit Madam and her colleagues and the principal of the college to, for giving me this opportunity to interact with you. and what was my line of thinking focus here, why I focused on doctoral thesis only. I have told you the reason for that. Hope it could be of some use in future to you. Thank you once again. Oh.
बऱ्याच वेळा सर असं होतं की रिसर्चर काही माहिती गोळा करून आणतो, त्याच्यावरून एखादा चॅप्टर लिहितो, तो गाईड तपासतो. आता मोस्टली गाईड जर बघितलं तर प्रूफ रीडर किंवा अगदी ग्रामर बरोबर आहे का, स्पेलिंग बरोबर आहे का, हे तपासणं हेच गाईडचं आता काम झालंय. आणि अशा स्थितीत जेव्हा त्याने एखादा संदर्भ टाकून आणलेला असतो ना, तेव्हा साहजिक त्या गाईडचा असा एक समज किंवा गैरसमज म्हणूयात आपण असं असतो की त्यानं संदर्भ लिहिलाय म्हणजे तो बरोबर आहे. आणि जर तो दोष गाईडचा कसं म्हणायचं किंवा त्याला कुठपर्यंत जबाबदार करायचं?
Action is on guide as well.
Yes.
And that's why I will tell two things here in response to this. गाईड म्हणून आपली जबाबदारी आपण झटकू शकत नाही. एक, आणि आता न्यू नॉर्मल काय आहे? यूज ऑफ AI. न्यू नॉर्मल आहे, सगळ्या विद्यापीठाने अलाउड केलेलं आहे. रिसर्चसाठी AIचा वापर अलाउड आहे. मी ते स्लाइड्स टाळलेले आहेत कारण त्यात ॲक्नॉलेजमेंटमध्ये चॅट GPTचा उल्लेख येतो, सगळं येतो. हे कसं कळणार आहे आपल्याला? तो एक आहे. आता प्रूफ रिडिंगचं म्हणालात तर ग्रॅमरली वगैरे सबस्क्राईब्ड व्हर्जन घेतलं तर ते सुद्धा ते काम करतात. पण मग गाईडला प्रूफ रिडर का बनावं लागतं? सगळेच जर एकलव्यच असतील तर गाईडची काय गरज आहे? देर आर इंडिपेंडंट रिसर्चेस, PhD रिसर्चेस अर्लियर. That's why guide has, though we are sympathetic, taking into account social, political, economic and other conditions of the research scholar or even academic background, here we should not be too sympathetic because ultimately action would be taken on the guides as well, whether the university or the government, or now due to AI, a number of other things are going to happen. We can't avoid. And that's why if guide is thinking there are 2 months are there for submission, whatever you do, I will support it. Guide will be landed in issue. Action would be on the guide. And that's why here, though researcher is responsible for everything, guide is also equally responsible. We need to take our responsibility as well. Because here we take into consideration other factors than academic while guiding. That is in some cases. I am not saying generalizing this, but in some cases these things happen. Okay. Okay. Thank you once again.
Good morning. Thank you, Tasildar sir, for your insightful session and in-depth survey of various universities where you have come up with the important aspects that are related to research, right from the title. And I think this throws your work, your book throws light on the ethical dimension that is related to research, whether it deals with the title or bibliography or other aspects of the research. Now I request all the audience that if you have any questions, so the session is open for question answers. So if you have any doubts, any questions, if you want to share something, you can proceed. Those who have joined online, they can ask the questions in chat box, so we can pass on your questions to the expert.
Okay. I have not gone through Shodh Shundu. It is a research in progress. Now, when I go through such things, I get number of other things. For example, I got 2 names of the research supervisor of Sagde sir, and it was due to Shodh Shundu. his proposal was submitted to the previous guide, and later on he worked under, I think, Fernandez madam. If I am not wrong, Sagde sir worked under Fernandez madam. But in the proposal I got on Shodh Sindhu, here name was of another guide. Means here it is research in progress. We can't rely heavily because number of changes are there when we think. But we can go for Shodhanga. Whatever are the advantages we know, but whatever is the other side, I try to focus on those aspects as well. There are a number of other things. Huh.
Well, I don't have any question,
Huh.
but I would like to know what are your recommendations based on your research, because this is going to be a repetitive kind of exercise. Every guide and every research student will have to pay attention to the details and the technicalities of producing a thesis. So rather than keeping it a repetitive exercise, do we have any one place as one resource which will be visited by all the guides and all the research scholars, and they'll get the minimum required information from that source?
No, now annotated bibliographies are not available when we think of doctoral thesis. These are not available. Only the first book was there. And now when you think of research till 2015 in the universities in Maharashtra and after 2015, there is huge difference. Means if the number of theses in 2015 were 15, in 2016 it could be 150 in one university. I am talking of English. And that's why the number is vast. Such single resource may not be available anywhere. Neither the libraries now keep hard copies, nor the departments have the space to keep hard copies. And you will come across research scholars in your own departments who may not refer to the thesis kept in the department library. And I have not mentioned here such foreign repositories of ETDs. We get of all the universities in such a way. Even you have good repositories of Mahatma Gandhi University, Kerala, or even Saurashtra University, Rajkot. We have good things, but at one place, no one is making available.
I'm not asking about keeping all the theses in one place.
No, all this.
I'm talking about the precautions that the scholars have to take. How and where do we make them aware of all these, fallacies of research?
Scholars, if they take coursework seriously, and if the syllabus designers mention these aspects in the coursework, it may make the difference. Because here, if I refer to a PhD thesis, I may understand this. If I avoid this, even on Shodhaganga, whatever are, suppose I am working on Bharti Mukherjee and there are 20 here thesis on Shodhaganga, I may come across only 5 or 6 and I may say that this is all. Means precaution is to be taken, but is there such a mindset? Kai hotay, whatever is that mindset, that is problematic here. Whoever may be the research scholar, a sincere may also become insincere. Insincere may become sincere, but sincere may also become insincere because there are filters. When he or she understands filters in Urkund or Turnitin, then the things change. That's why precaution, even if we tell, they may not take. Because when there is a month for submission or their registration ends, they will approach you with 5 chapters at all. In a week, you have to go through the chapters because I have to submit. That is the condition. And sorry to say this, but post-corona, there is no difference remained between first year undergraduate student and first or second year here research scholars. They are similar in every sense. That is of the term. And to go ahead and say that just like we have parents meeting for FY, SY students, there may be a day in future where there would be parents meeting for research scholars. That we can't deny because they are not taking the things seriously. There is need But here, what happens when they give Google search? Whatever they come across in the first instance, they consider it as final. They don't go beyond that. I recently tried one thing. I asked the student to use AI and find out some names. And then I asked him to verify. Whatever names he came across by using AI, 50 to 60% of names were wrong. And when these were cross-verified, then he understood that I should not rely on AI. Such things are there, but it needs time and will, both the things. No research scholar is in the mood to listen to the guide, because here guide is of previous generation and research scholars are of 21st century. That generation gap matters most. Okay. Any other? विषय कोणताही असो आपल्या संशोधनाचा हे सगळं लागू आहे. विषय कोणताही असो म्हणून तुम्ही तिकडे थोडासा फोकस केला. Okay. When you think of AI, when you go to reputed journals or reputed publishers, there are guidelines for the use of AI. No one is against use of AI. Everyone permits use of AI. Only condition is to cite the AI or acknowledge that you have taken this with the help of ChatGPT or Gemini or any other AI tool. That is the condition. In India, as far as my recent information, can't say knowledge, is concerned, only University of Delhi has framed the guidelines for use of AI in relation to here research. No other university has taken such a step till now, or those have not been published yet. There is course in ethics conducted by Savitribai Phule Pune University. I don't know what they tell about AI in that course, because we have to update. It is coming with a rapid speed and we can't avoid. That is allowed. We have to use AI. But here, one more thing I would like to tell here, a little bit different, that whatever is available online can be given by AI. Whatever theses are not yet scanned by the universities, you can't get them. There is more scope for plagiarism here. Yeah, that is there. Old ones. But now this generation thinks that whatever is available online is the final truth. That mindset has to be changed somewhere. नाही तुम्हाला फक्त ट्रान्सलेशनसाठी तुम्ही वापरलाय, मग कोणतं टूल कधी वापरलाय त्याचा उल्लेख करावा लागेल. हां, त्याचं करावं लागेल. पण जे आता AI टूल्स आहेत ट्रान्सलेशनच्या बाबतीत, रिसेंटली कर्नाटकचे मुख्यमंत्री सिद्धरामय्यांची गोष्ट पाहिली का? AIने ती माफी मागितलेली आहे त्यांची, कारण त्यांनी जे शब्द वापरला त्याचं त्यांनी श्रद्धांजली करून त्या व्यक्तीला मृत घोषित केलंय. त्यामुळे त्याच्यावरही विसंबून राहण्यासारखं नाही आहे. इवन गुगल ट्रान्सलेशनचं तुम्हाला मानवी हस्तक्षेपाशिवाय ते कम्प्लीटच होत नाही. आपल्याला काय वाटतं हे मटेरियल मिळतं पण ते अंतिम नाही आहे ना. आहे पण तरी पण आपण ते आहे म्हणून आपण त्याचा वापर करतो. वापर करायला काही नाही पण आपण तिथं असल्याशिवाय काहीच होणार. ह्युमन टच लागतोच. AI ने साधा निबंध लिहिला तरी आपल्याला 7वी 8वीच्या विद्यार्थ्याचं लक्ष देतोय. ते आपल्यापेक्षा चांगलं AI वापरतात. हा खरं आहे ते आहे त्यात काय. आणि त्याला बंदी नाही आहे ना. आत्ता तरी कुठल्या गाईडलाईन्स नाही आहेत अजून. म्हणजे विद्यापीठाच्या आपल्या विद्यापीठाच्या तरी अजून नाही आहेत. त्या गाईडलाईन्स असायला पाहिजेत. वेळ निघून गेल्यावर करून काय उपयोग होत नाही. म्हणजे एखादी केस कोर्टात गेल्यानंतर मग अशा गाईडलाईन्स फ्रेम करणे, त्यासाठी समिती बसवणे वगैरे गठीत करणे हे चालू होतं. त्यामुळे AIचा धोका हे राहणारच आहे. पण वापरायला परवानगी आहे हे तेवढंच आहे. एथिक्सचा काय भाग येत नाही. फक्त एथिक्स कुठे येतं, आपण त्याचा संदर्भामध्ये उल्लेख नाही केला तर तो एथिक्सचा पार्ट येतो वापरून. आणि उल्लेख नाही केला तरी लगेच लक्षात येतं हे AIची भाषा आहे, सहज लक्षात येतं. कोर्स आहे हां. नाही नाही त्यात आणखी एक आहे जे आता मी टूल्स सांगतोय, टर्निटिन किंवा उरकुंड वगैरे. हे आता ड्रिल बीट आहे. हां ड्रिल बीट वापरलं जाते सध्या. तर यात सुद्धा AIचं अपडेशन झालेलं आहे. त्याबरोबर जरी गाईडच्या हातातून निसटलं, ते नजरेतून निसटलं तरी तिथं ते सापडणारच आहे. AI सापडणारच आहे तिथं वापर झालेला. त्यामुळे काय होतंय ही मानसिकता बदलली तर ते चांगलं होईल. नाहीतर आत्ता काय डिग्री होईल, पगार वाढ मिळेल, सगळं होईल. पण रिटायरमेंटच्या पेन्शनला सुद्धा अडवणूक होऊ शकते. त्याच्यानंतर सुद्धा केस होऊ शकते. कारण ज्युडिशरीच्या पातळीवर तिकडं ते त्यांचे कायदे डेव्हलप करणं चालूच असणार आहे. फक्त आपल्यापर्यंत ते आलेलं नाही. पण आता युनिव्हर्सिटी गाईडलाईन्समध्ये दिल्ली युनिव्हर्सिटीच्या अभ्यासल्या पाहिजेत. त्यात कसा उल्लेख केला आहे त्यांनी. बाकीच्या विद्यापीठांचे येतील हळूहळू. एथिकली ते आहेच. Okay.
Those who have joined online, they have certain comments or they want to share their views. One is by Jaya. She said that, very well said, sir. It was indeed a very provocative and eye-opening deliberation. her question is, and she has also given her comment, who is to be held responsible for this all? It's a matter of deteriorated status of education as a whole. So तिचा क्वेश्चन, तिचा आन्सर तिने स्वतःच तिकडे सेकंड काय होतं ओके. Again, one question or opinion by Jaya only. There is a misconception about the structure of the thesis. Seems there is a need of developing a standard template across universities. Many scholars do not understand relevance of literature review. Yeah. As sir has already said that literature review is done at the end of the research, which has to be done in the beginning. And after that you come to some concrete, what we can say, की ह्याच्यावर आपल्याला करायचं आहे. But as sir has said that many times it is done in the end, की literature review हा chapter आमचा राहिलेला आहे and we'll do in the end. So which has to be done, all the research scholars who are listening or who are sitting here, research review, you have to do it in the beginning only, and after that you can come to your topic and then you can think what you have to do in your research, and then you can
by Professor Dr. Ravindra Tasildar, and thank you Principal Ma'am for giving us time and sharing the session. Lastly, let's